Well, good afternoon, everybody. Bloody hell, 151 of you watching already. You must be looking forward to this. It is, of course, Judgment Day. And as you can see from the thumbnail here, is the thumbnail for this live stream. The moment we have all been waiting for. What I'm going to do is bring Graham on and we'll get the show on the road. But I just want to read something to you very, very quickly. I'll put this on the screen. Parliament loses its sovereignty when returning officers and their teams appoint MPs through cheating. The electors of a constituency are the true sovereigns, and the Commons is their domain. Once this principle is violated, even once, Parliament's sovereignty is lost. If you are not part of society's governance, you are a slave. Communists don't want you to vote. Think about it. Anyway, that tells you not to vote is collaborating with the enemy. Now, that's a very important principle, which underlines a lot of what's going on here. And I want you to remember that. Without further ado, let's bring Graham on and say hello. Hello, Graham. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now, what I want to do very quickly, just for the uninitiated, anyone that's tuned into this for the first time, I just want to very quickly go over what happened on the 16th for a minute or two, and then we'll crack right on, where everyone's here so everybody understands totally where we are. So on the 16th of October, as you can see here, this was all of us proper English people outside the Royal Courts of Justice after it happened. There was an appeal hearing. Next week, as you all know, those of you that have been following this, there is an election petition hearing over 3 days where Graham will effectively prosecute the other side and show the evidence that, inappropriate things happened in that election. They are shitting themselves, for want of a better word. That's why this appeal happened on the 16th, because they wanted to try and get it thrown out, stop that from happening next week on a sheer technicality. And that's all it was, as well as boring the socks off of everybody, which I'm sure we'll talk about. The judgment has come in today. We know where we are. So without further ado, Graham.
Thank you. Well, Andy, this channel and your audience, every single one of you helped to get the judgment. And when I say that we packed out the appellant court, it was the first time, I believe, in their history, they had to open up a second court just to get the people in to watch what was going on.
It was packed, wasn't it?
There was over 90 people there. And the 3 appellant judges were the ones who ordered the other court to be opened so we could all sit there. And again, without the support, the judges can then see that there is public interest in this. This isn't frivolous. This is people, and they knew that people had travelled from Runcorn and Helsby to be in that court and from further afield. So, just to let people know a quick brief. The King's Counsel and other barristers were arguing and going round and round in circles with certain points. They started to aggravate the judge, or judges. So this is a really important thing, people, to learn about law and judges. They are very powerful people. If they exercise their discretion in your favour, they make law in this country, and especially the appellant court. It was apparent to me and to others in that court that the King's Counsel for the returning officer and the barrister, in effect, for Sarah Patton were aggravating the judges. So I decided I didn't need to do too much arguing, other than to be very respectful and not call them or their judgment or their honour into question. And they retired for since the 16th to create their judgment, and just to keep everyone out of suspense, we won unanimously Not just one judge or two judges, which it would have had to be, but unanimously, the three judges disagreed with the King's Counsel and Sarah Pouchin, and they said the trial on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of November goes ahead. So that is justice.
I'll put that on the screen, shall I? The back page of the judgment so we can see it, and the bit I showed you off air. This is the last page of the judgment. Anybody that's following Graham on X can see this. If you follow him at English Exit, there should be a link to that in the description of this live. The important things are the conclusion and the bits at the bottom. I would dismiss the appeal. The trial of the petition should, in my view, proceed, which basically means we're going to Chester. I better book the bloody train now. Lady Justice Andrews, I agree. Lord Justice Holgate, I also agree. And Graham's reactions. Who bloody rah?
Yeah, I wish I could jump that high.
So do I.
So when we get to the cost order, I'll be asking the King's Counsel, when they say to me, how high do you want me to jump? I'll show him that.
I'll send you a copy. Speaking of costs, you told me something off air. Even though you won, they're still trying to get bloody more money out of you. What's all that about?
They are, and I have sent a very polite but stern email back to the appellant court, explaining that they should look at the costs order of the last case, because the two previous judges were very explicit. They also stated that the costs for the Royal Mail, for example, were grossly disproportionate. They did everything bar call it fraud. Well, in my opinion, they did call it fraud because they mentioned something else. So yeah, they're still trying to go for the full. Basically, in that email, I finished it with a one-liner, and I said, at any time from when the petition was submitted and prior, because don't forget, everyone listening to this should know one thing, that the judges acknowledged, and the media are not talking about this at all,
no.
That this is not sour grapes. They said Mr. Moore was emailing the returning officer well prior to the election date, to the poll date, about election interference, right? So they accepted there was no, it wasn't a sour grapes thing, and with the various things that we'd been speaking to the police about, and it was all in emails. They read the emails, they showed the parts of the emails in the judgment. But getting back to that, the costs order where the judges reduced the Royal Mail's cost from 80,000 to 12.5 grand. By the way, I'm grateful for this audience, my audience, and the rest of the audience for the GoFundMe. I have paid the Royal Mail's costs, and which were massively reduced, and Cheshire Police. But I've also told them, you're both on notice, this isn't over, because the judges did not say, they said you could not be respondents. They didn't say you couldn't interfere with an election, and that's what the petition trial is about. So the evidence is still being put forward, and the judges can still void the election because of what they've done. Right. So people need to understand, if you look at the totality of the election and how, in a technical term, how impure it was, we need pure common law principle and free elections. And in anybody's words, this was not a free and pure election.